How's it going, everyone? So I keep seeing online stuff about like AI and Chat GPT, so I thought, why not ask Chat GPT some questions about Planetside 2? Honestly, I was kind of curious, of what it would come up with. So here are some questions that I asked it, and I thought I would share it with you guys because some were pretty interesting, and honestly, a lot of them were kind of the same. But here are the best answers that I got from Chat GPT. So starting off is, who is Rel and why are people mad at him? It said Rel, also known as Josh Rel Sanchez, is a game designer and YouTuber associated with the game Planetside 2. He has been involved in providing insight into the game design and updates for Planetside 2 through his YouTube channel and as part of the development team. As for any reasons people might be upset with him, opinions can vary and it can be related to game changes, design choices, or community interactions. It's essential to consider that sentiments towards developers can change over time based on ongoing developments and community feedback. To get the most accurate and recent information, it's recommended you check the latest discussion. Planetside 2 Community Rail Zone channels. Should the Vanu get their cat ears back? Decisions about cosmetic items such as cat ears for the Vanu in Planetside 2 are usually subjective and depend on the game developer's design choice and community feedback. If players express a strong desire for those cat ears to return, the developers may consider such feedback in the future updates or events. Thought that was pretty funny. How tight-fitting is the Vanu armor? The design and aesthetics of Vanu Sovereignty armor in Planetside 2 are subjective and depend on personal interpretation. Generally, Vanu Sovereignty technology is categorized by its sleek and advanced appearance, featuring futuristic designs and energy-based elements. The armor tends to have a more form-fitting and high-tech look compared to the bulkier armor styles of other factions. Which Planetside 2 faction is the most evil? In Planetside 2, the factions are the Terran, New Conglomerate, and the Vanu do not have inherent moral alignments of good or evil. Each faction has its own lore, ideology, and motivations, but they are designed to be morally ambiguous, allowing players to choose based on personal preference. Should Planetside 2 get rid of infiltrators as a class? Deciding whether Planetside 2 should get rid of a specific class, like the infiltrator, is a subjective matter and depends on various factors, including player feedback, game balance considerations, and the vision of the game developers. Infiltrators provide a unique playstyle with their emphasis on stealth, reconnaissance, and sniping, contributing to the diversity of roles in the game. But it seems like every time I get in a public platoon, everyone's if they're not ragging on Rel doing a terrible job, it's how they should get rid of infiltrators. So a lot of hate for the infils. Best way to defend a base in Planetside 2. Defending a base effectively in Planetside 2 involves coordination, positioning, and a mix of infantry, vehicles, and air support. Here are some tips. Number 1, coordinate with teammates, join a squad or platoon to enhance communication and coordination. Teamwork is crucial. Number 2, establish defensive positions. Identify key defensive positions within the base and ensure that your team is strategically positioned to cover entrances and key points. Deploy defensive structures. Engineers can deploy defensive structures like mana turrets, AI vehicle turrets, and barriers to fortify your position. Step 4, use vehicles wisely. Employ vehicles strategically for defense. Thunders can serve as mobile spawn points, and vehicles like tanks or anti-air units can deter enemy advances. Anti-air and anti-vehicle defenses. Ensure you have a mix of anti-air and vehicle capabilities. This helps defend against enemy air and ground threats. Repair and resupply stations. An engineer should deploy repair and resupply stations to maintain the longevity of vehicles and max units. Monitor the map. Pay attention to the map to anticipate enemy movements. This allows you to allocate resources effectively and respond to threats. And make sure you have those beacons up on your infill. Infiltrators can provide valuable reconnaissance, spotting enemies, and hacking terminals to disrupt enemy plans. Communicate effectively. And lastly, adapt to enemy tactics. Be flexible and adapt your defense strategy based on the tactics employed by the enemy. Just positioning and resources. So, not a bad response, honestly, about defending a base. So it, kind of covers all the basic stuff there. Which Planetside 2 faction is the best? Choosing the best faction in Planetside 2 often depends on personal preference and playstyle. Each faction has its unique traits and weaponry. Explore them to find the one that aligns with your preferred gameplay. Honestly, a lot of answers, questions got this kind of answer. Like, it all depends on preference. It's what you like. Will there be a Planetside 3 video game? So chat said, as my last knowledge update in January 2022, there was no official announcements regarding Planetside 3. Game development and announcements can change, so it's recommended to check the latest sources or the official channels to keep up to date. Will consoles ever get an update for Planetside 2? I don't have a real-time information, but as my last update in 2022, there's been no official announcements. And then it just goes on to, keep up with the news and stuff. So I don't think there's going to be any console updates. I'm just going to say everybody on Twitter and Reddit that says console update when, it's not going to happen, guys. I've said it before. It's probably not going to happen. Is base building worth doing in Planetside 2? Base building in Planetside 2 can be worthwhile in certain situations, depending on the tactical need of your faction and the overall strategy of the battle. Here are some considerations. Strategic positioning. Building a base strategically can provide your faction with additional spawn points. Resource generation. Constructing bases allow your faction to generate resources, contributing to the overall war effort. Not really sure if it's talking about like hives or where it's pulling that information from. This can provide additional vehicles and equipment for your faction. Yeah, I mean, that can come from command centers or, vehicle pads and such. Interdiction and blockades, putting walls. Yeah, probably not the best thing. I've seen a lot of people just put walls in the road, which is effective to a point. But if you have an armor column coming down, it's not going to matter how many walls you put up. That thing's going down. Outfit cooperation. Outfits or organized groups of players can coordinate base building efforts. Not really a thing. No, that's not really a thing. Alerts and continent locking. During global alerts or in the lead up to the continent locking, control and base buildings can play a crucial role. Not really. Lastly, it says here, however, it's important to note that the effectiveness of a base building can vary based on the population on the server, tactical situation, and the cooperation level among players. Some players may find it more rewarding to focus on direct combat and objectives rather than construction. The only thing that I feel construction helps out right now is A, building a router base, whether it's next to a base or down by warp gate so you can chain off somebody else's router base, or B, having an air pad in the middle hex where you can use it to quickly, pull Valks, pull your ESFs from the middle of the map instead of, trying to wait on that spawn time for the amp station or a biolab or somewhere else, that you could pull a vehicle. Your platoon has already set up a dedicated, air spawn base kind of in the middle of the map. So those are really the only two things when I build a base. I used to do a lot of base building. Haven't really done that much anymore. So those are all the questions that I thought I got a decent answer from ChatGPT. So pretty interesting stuff. A lot of it is, go back to the forums and look at the discussion that's posted. Keep updated and things like that. So I thought I'd like to just share some of this with you guys. So if you guys have any comments about this, or you guys have kind of looked something up yourself as well. But that's going to be it for me. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.